Hello, everybody. It's August 28th at noon. I'm here at my office in New York City. Today, I am joined by Ciara Webster, who will give us a very interesting view of what goes on behind the scenes to help keep healthcare providers and hospitals operating their diagnostic imaging devices. But before we are joined by Ciara, I'd like to look at a couple of the interesting stories that occurred in our news. First of all, very interesting, proton therapy continuing to be in the hot seat. IBA has signed a licensing deal worth over $100 million in China. All the proton companies have been pursuing that market, but somehow IBA did it. Probably they made a friendly deal with the Chinese. It excludes, I think, Hong Kong and Macau, but it's really great news for IBA. As we talked about yesterday, here's another situation where Philips is going to acquire Interact Vascular and that company makes a implantable device that I think fits perfectly with the Philips portfolio. That is a $275 million deal, or 234 million euro. So we continue to see growth through acquisition. This is, I think, going to be a good partnership for Philips. As always, otherwise I'll be fired. I encourage you to sign up for our online news. It's free. There's always interesting things. We scoop a lot of people, and you'll be the most interesting person at the water cooler, if there's a water cooler to hang around. Hello, and as promised, I'm now going to be joined by Ciara Webster, who is the Director of Support Services and Contract Administration. Did I get that right, Ciara?
Yes, you did.
And Ciara works for BC Technical, and she has since she graduated from high school for 12 years. Is that correct?
Yep.
And where are you right now, Ciara?
Salt Lake City.
I see. And how are you dealing with the COVID situation, the pandemic?
Adjusting. First, it was very scary. As the months have gone on, though, more adjusting than anything to the new normal, I guess.
Now, you supervise the department that receives calls from, and let's start with BC Technical, the company that you work for, just from 5,000 feet in the air. Tell us about BC Technical. What do they do?
We sell, refurbish, and service nuclear medicine systems, CT and MRIs, PET and PET CT systems.
I see. And throughout the United States?
Yes.
And your department and your team?
We handle all of the incoming service requests from internal and external customers.
I see. What's the difference between an internal and external customer?
We have internal departments and field service engineers that need requests that we take their incoming calls to and address. External customers would be somebody out in the field, customer that needs something on their system.
I see. So if a machine has a problem, you get the call.
Yep.
And what's the philosophy of your company? I know if I call some companies, I have to press 1 for this and 2 for that and 3 for this. What's it like at BC Technical?
We have a phone tree now. It's pretty new to us, where you will press 1 for service, 2 for parts. But we are available. We have a live person available 24/7 once you get through that phone tree.
I see. Okay. So that's a plus, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how many calls can you get in a week?
In a week, 400, 500, between 400 and 500 calls a week.
Right. And you have to dispatch service engineers what percentage of the time?
About 70% of the time,
I
it's
see.
a field service dispatch. Yeah.
Now, how has COVID changed the type of calls you receive?
Um, during the pandemic, we started seeing less of, um, we can wait till next week to get service to just getting the calls that were emergency where the system was down. We didn't see any of the stuff that could wait a week or two. The calls were always a down system.
So people were not sweating the small stuff.
Correct. Right. Yep.
But the big stuff they let you know about.
Absolutely.
Now, was it more difficult to dispatch service engineers during COVID or the same?
It's about the same. About the same. Our field service engineers have been pretty healthy and stuff during the pandemic, which has been good. That would have hindered a lot of things if they weren't. So.
Now then, you can tell from your screen whether the service engineer has showed up and whether the machine is working, and then you process the invoice or the payment for the customer.
Yes. Yep.
So how many people in your department?
We have 7.
Right. And are they socially distancing or working from home? Or are they in the office?
They're remote.
Everyone's remote.
Yep. In my department.
Yeah. And so that's still because of the computers and internet, you can still do that.
We've been able to. Yes, it's been really nice.
So how do you think do you think the pandemic will change the way business is done in the future, or will it be pretty much the same?
I think it will change a little bit. We're starting to see things become more normal. We're starting to get service requests for everything now. We went through a period of time where we were being creative with contracts and customers that had to shut down clinics or weren't open during the pandemic, where we would stop their contracts until they were back open. We're starting to see a lot of them opening back up. We're starting their contract coverage back up now. So.
Well, I wish my landlord would do that.
Yeah, we made things creative for them. So a lot of stuff is starting back up really quickly, actually. So.
Well, that's good news, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do you have any advice for a company that provides this sort of service? When you call other companies, is there anything that you notice that you would change based on the way you do things at BC Technical?
I believe 24/7 phone coverage is key. I think that's helped a lot with customers. They are always getting somebody live right away. And once they get through the phone tree, of course. But we always have somebody on my team answering the phone weekends, after hours. So I think that helps the most. Yes. It helped during the pandemic a lot, actually. So.
Well, it's easy to see that you care about your job, and you've been at the same company for 12 years, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
How long has BC Technical been around anyway?
Oh, now I believe 23 years now.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. It started a mom and pop shop in the basement of someone's house, actually starting, they were building Vertex ring cables. So, yeah.
Well, now I'm dating myself because I remember when they first started. All right. Well, BC Technical is lucky to have you, and I certainly appreciate your time. Thank you very much for spending time with us today.
Thank you.